Good day friends, Derek, that ADU guy here, and I'm out in front of this beautiful ADU over garage. I'm gonna take you guys through it. I'm gonna show you what I do to save money. I'm gonna share with you my super simple design. I'm gonna go over my top 3 steps, how you can build an affordable ADU over garage. So we're just gonna take a systematic 360 walk around this ADU, and I'll talk about a few things that I do to save money, and you can too. I like an exterior staircase. If you put the staircase inside the ADU, it takes up a lot of square foot space. So exterior staircase, we always like to put a nice parking spot in if we can. Due to state law, in our state, we don't have to put in a single parking spot for our ADU, but we choose to, so our tenant has a nice, safe place to park that's close to their unit. One thing I try to keep in mind when I'm building and designing is where am I gonna put all of my exterior components? I wouldn't want to have a gas meter right here or an exterior mounted heat pump on the wall right in front of my entry. So we try to put everything in the back where we're not gonna see it. Here we've got our gas meter. We have our exterior on-demand hot water heater that I suggest you use. We don't lose any space inside. A small ADU, you wouldn't think an electric water heater is gonna take up much room, but it really does. So exterior mounted water heater here. We have our outside unit for our heat pump HVAC mini split system. Again, we're just trying to hide everything outside. This is a really unique ADU above garage in the fact that it's actually attached to the house. And we do that so we can meet the code and build a second detached ADU later. One thing I like to share with everybody is the fact that this is a mixed use space. So although we have an ADU above, inside here, we actually have a finished garage. So when I'm building these ADUs, I finish the garage off. I actually insulate the walls. I put drywall up, I soundproof the lid, I actually mount a mini split HVAC on the back wall so I have hot and cold air conditioning in here. And then I'm using it right now as a little bit of storage space and a temporary office. So outside is the private metering system I use. So as opposed to putting its own designated public meter where I'm gonna have a meter charge every month, what I do is I jump off of the main power meters meter and I put in a digital private meter. And every month what I do is I read the meter and then I subtract the kilowatt hour usage off of the private meter, and then I can bill back the tenant so they use they pay for exactly what they use and no more. So outside we're going for the barn look on this ADU. So talking real quick about what I do to save money is a simple staircase. So these are just 2x12 pressure treated stair stringers, and then I use 2x12 cedar deck treads. This is a handmade grab rail out of 1/4 inch thick wall tubing, and then this detail is really affordable. This is nothing but livestock wire, and I simply cut it on grade with bolt cutters, and then I staple it to the back of these 2x4 pieces of cedar, and then I cap it with 2x6 cedar and put a nice oil-based paint on it so it matches the PT posts. Again, going for the rustic look. These are some recycled fence boards that I used for the toe kicks. Not a ton of room up here, but there's room to set your groceries down before you come in. And also in this instance, we had a decent view of the local foothills. So there's a nice view out this way and also into the neighbor's backyard. So as we come into this ADU, you're gonna notice a lot of the same principles that I talk about on all my builds. We have a large vaulted ceiling. This is almost 12 foot to the top. Hard surface flooring, I always use hardwood. We wanna have big windows, especially on our south and west walls where the light can pour in. The way we make a space feel bigger is with volume, so tall ceilings, and with light. So those are some basic principles. Again, we use recessed lighting. This is super affordable. All of our lighting fixtures on the other side of the building, we've used over and over and over. Part of the simplicity and part of the systematic approach is having no decision fatigue. On this side, we have our simple one-wall galley kitchen that we always use. This kitchen is only 15 feet wide, and some things that we do to save money are we use one piece of granite. So this is just a single slab. We use an overmount sink, so we're able to actually cut and tool the granite ourselves. So there's no big cost. I pay a couple $100 for this slab, and then I tool it with a skill saw and a garden hose with a diamond blade, and I'm able to set my own sinks. So what looks like a several $1,000 single galley kitchen, I can do for a few $100s. We've got our basic, this is a clear alder shaker style cabinet, full size dishwasher, 24 inch. I used to use an 18 inch apartment size dishwasher, but they're super expensive and they're really hard to find parts for. 24-inch super deep stainless steel overmount sink. We use an apartment-sized stove, so this is 24-inch. A standard stove is 30, but when you have a really limited space, that stove is almost too much. And then I also use an apartment-sized fridge. It's 10.1 cubic feet, and then we use a full-size 30-inch micro with a hood that exhausts to the outside. So that's the basic kitchen package we use almost every time. Again, we're saving money because there's no turns. There's no breaks in the granite. There's no big corner cabinets where we lose space. And in a small area, if we were to have an L kitchen or even a big island, it would eat up a lot of this living room. Our bathroom, very basic, hard surface flooring. We want to build property management into our unit. So hardwood out here, this is a real slate floor. And then we use a 5-foot prefabricated fiberglass shower surround. A couple of quick tips here for tenant proofing your bathroom. I use 3/4 inch pipe for my towel bars, and then there's 2x6 backing behind the wall. I could literally do a pull-up on this, so you won't get any more calls about towel bars ripping out. And then we use the same pipe hardware for the toilet paper holder and the hand towel. As we go into the bedroom, again, super basic, simple. We're trying to save money while giving our tenants a great product. This is 10 by 12. Again, the west facing wall where light's gonna pour in so this room doesn't feel as small. We carried the vault in here as well. In-unit washer and dryer on one side, and then we have a shelf and pole on the other. And then whenever there's space, I try to do some kind of loft. It's the kid in me that wants the tree house, I guess, but we have ski storage up there. You can also put some totes. One thing you wanna keep in mind when you're doing an ADU over garage is if your tenant doesn't have access to the garage, make sure they have a little bit of storage space. So things like this go a long ways. So now for the fun part, how much did it cost? Well, I was all in on this ADU. It's 22 by 26, 2-car garage downstairs included for $65,000. And you guys might be thinking, Derek, you're insane. You're probably throwing stuff at the screen right now. There's no way you can do that. Well, it's a little bit skewed because I am a builder and I do a lot of the work myself, but here are the 3 tips that I promise will save you the most money. First and foremost is gonna be to start with a super simple design. Second is gonna be to self-manage the project. So even if you're not a full-time contractor or a crazy builder that works dark to dark like me, you can still hire individual subcontractors and save money that way. And then the third way is gonna be to do as much of the work as you possibly can yourself. If that means painting the interior walls and doing dump runs on the weekend, or if it means maybe laying the LVP flooring when you get off work. Those are the ways that I save money and you can too. So to reiterate, super simple design, self-manage the project and do as much of the work as you possibly can yourself. That's how you're gonna save money.